Hey, vinyl community, it's Mazzy, and 'tis the season for contests. I just taped one that I haven't posted yet for Emma, 8 vinyl low, 8 miles high. I keep wanting to say, no offense, Emma. This is for Jeff Various Vinyl, who has like 6 million subscribers. Cool contest. He wants us to show albums representing 5 artists we saw live, preferably on the tour that they toured, the album that they toured for. So I'm going to do 5 of some of the pretty cool concerts that I went to many years ago. And I'm going to do them in chronological order just because, okay? Nothing recent, so. Okay. Rolling Stones, Got Live If You Want It. This was at Madison Square Gardens. I saw them that year at the Open Coliseum, and then I saw them at the end of that year in December at Altamont, which was the crazy festival just east of San Francisco, where, well, ended in tragedy. But on that concert, I mean, they headlined. The Grateful Dead decided not to play. Flying Burrito Brothers played. Santana played. Jefferson Airplane played. I think that's it. Only time I saw Graham Parsons with the burritos, but I've seen the Stones many times. This year was the first time in 1969. So I was a kid and I snuck out. My parents didn't know I went to Altamont. So Rolling Stones, I don't remember that show being great. It was just a sea of madness, and I was a kid. It was kind of cool being there. The Old Coliseum show I actually enjoyed better, and then in 1972 again I saw them at Winterland, and then many times after that. So Rolling Stones, artist number 1. In 1972 I went to Winterland because I heard this album. I just got this album. This was the first David Bowie album, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. I didn't get Hunky Dory until after this album, but I heard this and I fell in love with it. So I went to see him at Winterland. Winterland holds 5,000 people, and 500 people showed up. 500 people at Winterland seeing David Bowie. Of course, a couple of days later, he did the famous show that was a live concert in Santa Monica, at Santa Monica Civic, I believe. He vowed he would never play in San Francisco again. That changed. People weren't hep to him yet, but it was a great show. Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders from Mars is a reissue of it, analog reissue. Great album, you all know it. 1973, a lot of Winterland shows here. I also went to Winterland. I saw Pink Floyd. That holds 5,000 people. I think it was sold out. And they played the entire Dark Side of the Moon about 2 to 3 months before Dark Side of the Moon came out. So they played all this. They played Echoes. Great, great show. The first time I ever saw Pink Floyd, 1973, before they broke with this album. But I was a fan of theirs pretty much since the beginning. But I love Pink Floyd. And it was great to see him right before Dark Side. So we heard this album. We didn't know what it was. They announced it was their next album, and they played it. It was amazing. But you all know it, right? I never show this album because it's such overkill, an album to show. But it was a great, great concert. Then in 1974, I went to the Open Coliseum. I saw 2 shows, I believe, of Bob Dylan and the band. Bob Dylan, I'm trying to think, this may be the first time I ever saw Bob Dylan. 1974, he toured with the band. He had switched from Columbia Records to Asylum Records. They put this record out later that year from the show. He was really rocking. I like this. A lot of people aren't fans, apparently, of this, but I thought it was really great. You go your, I go mine! He really rocked out, and the band was, the band. How can you not like the band and Bob Dylan, man? It's like, how can you not put honey in your tea or milk in your tea, or, I don't know. It makes no sense, but Dylan the band. And then the last album I'm going to show, it was 1978? 78. Winterland again. Winterland, the very final show of the Sex Pistols. The Sex Pistols at Winterland. After that show, they broke up. And I was actually, my girlfriend worked at the radio station KSAN, and I met, well, I didn't really meet him, but there was, I can't remember if it was the night before or after the show at Winterland. Sid Vicious was there, and I was in a room of about 20 people, and Sid Vicious was just totally fucked up, as you would expect. But I saw them at Winterland. They were terrible, horrible show. I hated them. I love this record. This is my original UK pressing, and I know Bob Bradley was showcasing this comparison of the UK and original. So this is my original pristine Virgin UK pressing. There we go. Let me see here, something. Anyway, Sex Pistols, never mind the bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. So that's 5 shows Mazzy went to, all in San Francisco, except, well, Bay Area, all in the San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco, and Altamont Pass on the way to, was I-5 even built then? Maybe not. Anyway, congratulations on, I don't think there's a sub contest because you have like 6 billion subs. But Jeff, hope that works. Well, of course it works. It's what it is. We all saw different shows, different generations. Thanks again. Mazzy loves you.